Hello everyone and welcome back to the UPSC Journey. My name is Babita, the Hindu Analysis Faculty at UPSC Journey. In today's session, we are going to cover complete Hindu analysis for 26th of May 2026. This session is going to be very helpful for your upcoming exam, especially for your upcoming UPSC exam. That means for 2027. So I hope you stay till the end of the session, and after the completion of this session you can download PDF from our Telegram channel. Link is in the description box. We'll start with the first article. Okay, the first article is regarding Finance Commission and the transfer and the equity share between center and the state. So this article is regarding Finance Commission, and again, Finance Commission is your constitutional body and it's very important from your exam point of view. So why it is in news? Because 16th Finance Commission has recently tabled its report in Parliament and retained 41% of vertical devaluation share and sparked debate over its recommendation. Like there are two verticals. One is vertical devaluation and one is horizontal devaluation. So in this vertical devaluation, it retains 41% share. So first of all, we have to understand about Finance Commission. Finance Commission comes under Article 280 of the Constitution, which provides for the Finance Commission. It constituted every 5 years by the President of India, and its recommendations are advisory in nature and not binding. Means President can reject all the recommendation or can accept. So it's advisory in nature, not binding in nature. Very important that it constituted after every 5 years, and these recommendations are advisory in nature. And Article 280 is regarding Finance Commission in India. Okay. If we talk about composition, there will be one chairman and 4 other members. Means total of 5 members will be there in the Finance Commission. And talking about the qualification, the person with experience in public affairs, finance, economics, or administration, or a law. Means if any person have a knowledge of any of the subjects mentioned, like if a person is experienced in public affairs, finance, economics, administration, or law, then these are the required qualification to become a member or become chairman of the Finance Commission. Members are eligible for the reappointment. Means once if their tenure is over, they are eligible for the reappointment. So very important that members of the Finance Commission are eligible for the reappointments. Okay, we were talking about like vertical devaluation. So in vertical devaluation means a share of fund between union and state. Like vertical is this where we moving from top to bottom. So at top we have a center, and if you like move downward, there will be states, and then this share between both center and state is known as vertical devaluation. Means union and state share is known as vertical devaluation. And if talk about horizontal devaluation, means the distribution among states between among states. Like if we talk about Haryana, UP, and on this states there is a criteria of this distribution of shares. That's about population can be one criteria, income can be one criteria, distance, areas, forest cover, etc. All these are criteria for the share between center and state. And like for vertical there will be a center and state, and for horizontal among state, and these are the criteria for all that states. Divisible pool, the next tax revenue shared between center and state. It's very important. Divisible pool is when the net tax revenue shared between center and state is known as divisible pool. And like cess and surcharge are not part of this divisible pool unless recommended. So very important that there will be a divisible pool in which net tax revenue will be shared between center and state. But like apart from cess and surcharge will not be part of this divisible pool unless recommended. Means there will be only a division of net taxes revenue between center and state. And grant and aid will only be provided for revenue deficit, disaster management, and local body management. So these are the criteria under which a grant and aid can be provided. Talking about first Finance Commission is 1961. The chairman was K.C. Niyogi. So chairman of first finance commission was KC Niyogi. Very important. Recommendation submit to the president, and president then lay down that report before parliament. So this finance commission will submit the recommendation to the president. I mean, they don't directly submit the report to the government. They submit the recommendation to the president. After that, president lay down that report in parliament. Linked to the fiscal federalism and center-state relation, because it's maintaining both center and state relation, and as well as fiscal federalism means revenue share between both center and state. So it's representing a fiscal federalism and well center-state relations. Equity distribution debate. Like there's a ongoing debate that southern state like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra, Telangana has expressed their concern over declining share compared to the northern state, because northern, like into the northern states, you have more population. So northern states have more area, more population. So these northern states are getting more benefited from this vertical devaluation or from this center state here. And that's why southern states like Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra, Tamil Nadu has expressed their concern that they are getting a less share as compared to the northern state. Critics note that Finance Commission failed to decisively shift toward performance-based criteria. Means they are just randomly allocating this share on the basis of population, income, distance, area, forest cover, etc. But they are failed to form like to shift toward the performance based criteria, means the share should be allocated on the basis of performance of the state rather than merely on basis of population or on area or on forest cover. So they also must add this criteria, that is performance based criteria, and after that there should be a proper allocation of revenue between center and state. Concern that local government may remain delivery agent of union and state scheme rather than an autonomous fiscal unit, because if they will not get that fiscal autonomy, then they will remain as a delivery agents, because we always want to have a local government, so that there will be a governance at the root level. But if we are not like providing autonomous fiscal power to this local government, then they will merely remain as a delivery agents between center and state. Now this is time for call for structural reforms, including possible seventh schedule amendment to strengthen the fiscal federation. Means we need to have a possible amendment in the seventh schedule that talk about strengthening of fiscal federalism in India. So this is about Finance Commission. Very important points like Article 280, constituted every 5 year, advisory, not binding in nature. There will be a 5 members chairman and 4 other members. Possible for the reappointment. After that, like you have to remember this vertical devaluation. Vertical devaluation, the share is distributed between union and state, and in the horizontal, when the distribution among the states on the basis of criteria of population, income, and distance and forest area. First Finance Commission chairman was KC Niyogi ji. Recommendation was submitted to president, and then this recommendation are laid down before the parliament. After that, we have seen that Finance Commission failed to decisively shift toward performance-based criteria. Means it's merely focusing on the population or area, but not on a performance-based criteria. And because of lack of this criteria, the southern state, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra, expressed their concern over the declining share as compared to the northern states. And now there's the time to have a possible inclusion of seventh schedule amendment to strengthen this fiscal federation. Means we need to have a structural reforms. Okay, talking about next article. Next article is regarding Nagas and Metis tribe. We have always seen that this tribe, both the tribes are continuously in news, and last time like UPSC has asked multiple questions regarding Naga and Metis tribes. Again, these are in news, so let's have a brief again. Talking about Metis tribe. So it's ethnic group in Tibetan Burman origin. They generally found in a region in Imphal Valley, Manipur. So Manipur, where did it come from? This Metis tribe. So Metis tribe is in Imphal Valley, Manipur. Talking about history of this Metis tribe, they are ancient kingdom of Kanglapik, and dynastic record is to Chetrapol Kumbha. It's very important that Metis tribe records were found in Chetrakol Kumbha and they belong to the which dynasty? It's called Kanglapik dynasty. So regarding Methi tribe, a Kanglapik dynasty and the records in Chetrakol Kumbha. Talking about social structure, divided into 7 clans, जिसको बोलते हैं Salai. So divided into 7 clans, named as Salai. Talking about their language. So their language is recognized in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. 8th schedule is regarding languages in India. So the language is also recognized in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. This is from Methi tribe. And talking about their cultural forms, like Manipuri dance forms, Thengta is a martial art. And in last year, UPSC asked question about Lai Haruba. In 2017 or 16, asked question about Lai Haruba. So Lai Haruba is a ritualistic festival of Manipur. It's very important. Lai Haruba, again, it's Sagol Khengjai. Sagol Khengjai is a traditional polo game of Manipur. So this is very important. Sagol Khengjai is a pole game, or it's a polo game. Sorry. Sagol Khengjai is a traditional polo game. On the other hand, Lai Haruba is a ritualistic festival. Thengta is a martial art. So all these 3 points are very important. Talking about the constitutional status of this Methi tribe. Now, as you know, these are in minority, so they are demanding for the scheduled tribe status. Reviewed by Manipur High Court in 2023. Linked to the Article 371C that provides special provision for the hill areas. Because this is a hilly area and that's why they are closely linked with Article 371C. Let's talk about special provision for the hill areas. Ethnic tension with the hill tribes like Naga, Kukis over their land rights and the autonomy. We like always see in the news that there's an always ongoing dispute regarding Naga and Kuki tribes for their land ownership and for their autonomy. So for Manipuri or for Methi tribe, we have to remember Thengta dance, Sagol Khengjai, and festival Lai Haruba. All 3 points are very important. They're demanding for the constitutional status, that is scheduled tribe status, and again they're linked with Article 377, 371C that provides special provision for the hill areas. Talking about Naga tribe. If we talk about their origin, they're ethnic groups of Indo-Mongoloid hills. They're found in region in Nagaland, part of Manipur, Assam, Arunachal, and Myanmar. This Naga is not a single tribe. This is composed of 30 tribes. Means there are 30 tribes which combined known as Naga tribe. In this tribes are like Angami, Ahu, Sima, Lotha, etc. So these are the tribes. All in combine of all these tribes known as Naga tribe. So these are not single tribe. These are more than 30 plus tribes which collectively known as Naga tribes. And very most important festival is Hornbill Festival of Nagaland, which showcase their tribal heritage. So Nagaland festival is Hornbill Festival of Nagaland, performed by this Naga tribes. Majority converted to the Christianity due to missionary influence. Like majority of this Naga tribe has converted to the missionaries or to the Christianity. Special autonomy they have under Article 371A. So they have special autonomy under Article 371A. Okay, let's do a brief about both Methi and Naga tribe. So Methi tribe, we have seen that in Fal Valley of Manipur, their regional location. And talking about Naga, they are not limited to one particular state, like they are found in Nagaland, Manipur, Assam, and Arunachal. So they have a region of very broad spectrum because they have covered like multiple states, Nagaland, Manipur, Assam, Arunachal. But on the other hand, if you talk about Methi tribe, they're only limited to the Imphal Valley of Manipur. These are ethnic origin groups of Indo-Burma and these are Indo-Mongoloids. If you talk about language of Meityan tribe, it's mentioned in the 8th schedule, where about Naga tribes, these have multiple dialects and English link. So these are not mentioned in the 8th schedule, very important. About the religion, Methi tribe mostly are Hindu and Vaishnavism, mostly belonging to the Hinduism and Vaishnavism, and Sanamisa means they have a both of Hindu religion. Where you talk about Naga, these are predominantly of Christians because they have converted into Christianity. Culture, Manipuri dance, polo dance, and martial art, we all see. In this Naga, we have a warrior tradition and a hornbill festival of this Naga tribe. Very important. Current issue that Methi tribe is asking for the demand for scheduled tribe status, where Naga tribe a peace talk for the greater Nagaland. They are looking for to have a greater Nagaland. But on the other hand, Methi tribe is demanding for the constitutional status, that is for scheduled tribe. They have linked like Article 371C and they have autonomy under Article 371A. So you have to remember about this Naga and Methi tribe and the current scenario. Very important part is from exam point of view that you have to remember this Manipuri dance and their constitutional status, like for what they're demanding actually. And these consist of like more than 30 plus tribes in Naga tribe. And they have Hornbill festival, very important. Next article is regarding India and Australia bridging the trade and trust barrier. So it's article regarding India and Australia relationship and how they are managing their relation in this ongoing fast economy and this war situation, how they're managing their relations. So talking about India-Australia relationship, we have diplomatic relations established in 1941. So we like in 1914 we had a diplomatic relation. Means before independence we have relations. Now with the time we have upgraded to a relationship through like strategic partnership in 2009, and then we have a comprehensive strategic partnership in 2020. So very important. After that we shared like common values like democratic values, rule of law, and multicultural society. Talking about economic cooperation and free trade agreements. Like ECTA 2022 is for the first FTA signed by India in a decade. In 2022, we have signed a free trade agreement with the Australia, and it was first in a decade. Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement under negotiation on extent to ECTA. Talking about market access, India opened 100% of Australian market, where Australia reciprocated with 70% coverage and with 91% of trade value. Means both the countries will allow the market access, where India has opened 100% for the Australian market, where on the reciprocal, the Australia opened only 70% coverage, which include like 90% of their trade value. Talking about agricultural trade, Australian firms export to India more than 90%. So we have a increase in export. Indian farmers export to the Australia around 35%. So Australian farm export to the India is 90%, means we are exporting in a very large amount from the Australia, and they have around like 90%, more than 90% our export is coming from Australia in terms of agriculture trade. But on the other hand, we talk about like Indian farm are exporting to the Australia around 35%. So like we are lacking behind obviously, because at the same time Australia is exporting to India around 90%, but at the same time we are exporting only 35% because we have internal demand. Talking about key sector on which like both the countries having a strategic partnership: mining, critical minerals, education, IT, renewable energy, biosecurity, and climate adaptation. So all these are the key factors on which India and Australia are working. Talking about investment, Australia invests in India's infrastructure, education, and clean energy. So these are the key points where India and Australia both having a close relationship. Talking about their partnership, like both are member of Quad partnership, India and Australia with USA and Japan for Indo-Pacific security, because these all are member of Quad. Talking about defense cooperation, we have a exercise name Austria Index, Naval Exercise, Malabar Participation, Logistics Support Agreement. So these are the defense cooperation we do with Australia. Talking about critical mineral partnership, ensures supply chain for lithium, cobalt, and for rare earth metals. Indo-Pacific strategy, both balancing China's influence and promoting free trade and open sea. So both the countries are trying to balance the China influence at the same time promoting a free trade and open sea access. Talking about cyber security and technology, they have collaboration in AI, digital economy, and cyber defense. So these are the points of their partnership. Like they have partnership in terms of their Quad partnership in terms of their defense cooperation in critical minerals and partnership, Indo-Pacific strategy, and cyber security and in technology. So these are the partnership points for both the countries, India and for Australia. Agriculture as an opportunity. Agriculture seen as a bridge, not as a barrier between both the countries, means it's providing a bridge for both the countries and not a barrier. Now, this need to have a complementary rather than a competition. So we need to have a very healthy relation, not a competition with both the countries. Area of cooperation, technology, biosecurity, and climate adaptation. So these are the area of cooperation between both the countries. Potential for investment partnership in food processing, supply chain, and sustainable farming. So these are potential areas where in future time we can invest in partnership through in food processing, supply chain, and in sustainable farming. Now, what are the challenges that will came during this partnership? First is trade balance in agriculture, because we are always like in a trade imbalance in agriculture. First is reason is that we have a challenge of trade imbalance in agriculture, then trust deficient due to past dispute like student safety, visa issue, investment rules. So because of past some issues of past conflict, there's some like hesitation between both the countries and need for a balanced reciprocity in market access. Because let's see, at the same time we are allowing 100% access to the Australia of Australian market, India is allowing 100% access, where Australia is only allowing the coverage of 70%. So this is also again a point that we need to have a balanced reciprocity in market access, means to have a equal access of market for both the countries. So very important that you need to remember of India and Australia partnership and how they are looking forward in a agriculture trade and how this trade is increasing between both the countries. Like we are exporting 90% from the Australia. At the same time, we are exporting to the Australia only 35%. And this is other key area of investment like mining, critical minerals, education, IT, renewable energy, biosecurity, climate adaptation. Again, we are partners in Quad, Quad partnership, defense cooperation, critical minerals, Indo-Pacific strategy, and cybersecurity and technology. So these are the key points where both the countries having a close cooperation or a strategic partnership. Again, we need to look agriculture as an opportunity and not as a barrier, and how this is going to help in food processing, supply chain, and sustainable farming. Again, by in this partnership, we're going to have some challenges like imbalance in agriculture, trade deficit because we have a trust deficit, so we're going to have a trade deficit, and again, there is need to have a excess of market for both the countries in an equal share. Okay, now this is your next article is regarding water governance in pre-urban areas. So pre-urban areas area which is like in between rural and urban area. So these are known as pre-urban areas or you simply known as peri-urban areas. Peri-urban areas are between like areas between urban and rural areas. So there's a need to have a water governance in this peri-urban areas. The main focus of this peri-urban area is water supply and sanitation in peri-urban areas between rural and urban zones. So these are the intermediate or mediatory between both rural and urban areas known as peri-urban zone. So importance is because of rapid urbanization and peri-urban area facing intermittent supply because they have not proper supply of water and they have a flooding, contamination. So these are the issue because of rapid urbanization. Now, challenges in peri-urban water governance. What are the key challenges during this peri-urban area water governance? First, they have intermittent water supply because of lack of reliable pipelines and infrastructure. Because we don't have that sufficient infrastructure to provide water governance or to done through this water crisis. So these are the issue which is currently we are facing because we don't have a reliable pipelines or infrastructure. Flooding and drainage huge issue we have like poor store water management, contamination, mixing of sewage with drinking water. These are the issue in peri-urban areas. Again, we have a institutional gaps, no clear governance framework for this peri-urban zone because we already look into the urban zone or maybe into the rural zone, but there's no proper framework for this peri-urban areas. And equity concern because marginalized communities often excluded from this formal water network. So this is again one concern because they are not getting that proper share, and these marginalized sections are always excluded from this formal water network. Governance issue because peri-urban areas fall in a very gray zone because they are neither a part of urban area nor they are part of fully into the rural area. So they are neither rural nor fully urban. So they come into a gray zone, and that's need to be tackled very carefully. Lack of dedicated governance bodies. These are fragmented responsibility between municipalities, panchayat, and state agencies. Means there is no one proper dedicated body that is accountable for this peri-urban areas. So we need to have a one dedicated body rather than this fragmented responsibilities between municipalities, panchayat, and state agencies. And then we have a weak accounting mechanism. Talking about middle ground, like what can be the solution for this and what can be like exact middle ground. Peri-urban areas need hybrid balance model because they are neither like fully urban nor they are fully rural area, or I'd say like they're neither fully rural nor fully urban. So they need a hybrid governance model first, and they need a middle path or a hybrid governance model. Blend of both urban infrastructure planning plus community based rural management means we need to take both the models at the same point. Like from urban, we need a infrastructure planning, and from the rural area, we need community based rural management. So we need a hybrid plan. Recognition of peri-urban areas as a distinct space required tailored policy means we need to identify this area as a distinct space so that proper attention to all these peri-urban areas which are not part of urban area, not part of rural area. So proper attention can be given to these areas. Now, what are the actions of plan? What we actually need to do? First, we need to establish local governance bodies. That is dedicated institute for the peri-urban water management. Like we have a seeing that there will be a management at urban level, there will be management at rural level, but there is no management or managing authority at peri-urban level. So we need to have a proper institution for peri-urban water management. Second, secure water resources like protects aquifers, rivers, reservoir from the over extraction and the pollution. So we need to have a protection to the rivers, reservoir, so that there will be no over extraction of the water. At the same time, we have to protect from the pollution also. Scale up sanitation technologies like decentralized treatment, low cost innovations. So this can really help. Integrated planning like align urban expansion with water resource management, when they need to have a blend of both urban and rural areas and have a urban expansion. Community participation again very important, that involving residents in decision making and monitoring system so that they can actually provide a real or like real time solution, because these are the communities or these are the local people who are living there, so they know the problem better. So involving them in a decision making and monitoring will really help. Pre-urban water governance is a critical for sustainable urbanization. It's linked to the sustainable goal 6 that talk about clean water and sanitation. So by doing this water governance in peri-urban areas, we are fulfilling our sustainable development goal 6 that talks about clean water and sanitation. Again, impact of this like public health, equity, and climate resilience. So these are going to have an impact, because by doing this, we're going to provide a more public health. We're going to have more equity between both rural and urban area as well as in peri-urban areas, and we're going to be a more climate resilient. Okay, now the next article is regarding from black to gray. So this article is very important because in India, we have seen that India need to prepare for a future with an aging population, because we have seen that there's a decline in total fertility rate. So from black to gray, India need to prepare for its future with aging population. As we know that currently China or Japan is, or mostly the Japan is going through a aging population concern. So India is also undergoing a demographic transition from a youthful population toward an aging society. Means the youthful population is declining and we are moving or toward aging society. So this is known as we are moving from black to gray, which triggered by falling fertility rate because fertility rate has decline in birth rate and rising life expectancy. Because at the same time, fertility rate is decreasing, but life expectancy is increasing. Means the person who has already born will stay for longer period, and that's why there will be a concern of rising older population. At the same time, the fertility rate is decreasing. Now what are the implications? Like if there will be a decrease in fertility rate, shrinking of fertility rate, then there will be a fewer work phase. Obviously the workforce will be less because we consider workforce between 15 to 49. So if there is a shrinkage of fertility, then there will be a fewer workforce. Again, the rising elderly will create a dependency ratio because if there will be a more aging population, then there will be a more dependency ratio. Need for care, pension reform, and the social security, and these will be a concern because if there will be more aging population, then there's a need for more care, pension reforms, and social security according to the aging population. As of now, the total fertility rate is 1.9, that is below replacement level of 2.1. Means the required fertility rate is 2.1, but at current, the fertility rate is 1.9. So we are having a decrease in total fertility rate, means we have a shrinkage in fertility rates. If talk about like crude birth rate is declined from 21 to 18.3 in just 10 decades. There is a decline in birth rate. Again, I'm talking about crude death rate. So death rate has decreases at the same time birth because the less birth rates are less. Like let's suppose only 3 birth are there, but the death rates are only 1. So means we are having a more aged population because death rate is declining from 60 for 6.7 to 6.4% in 2014 to 2024. And the median age is 29.2 years. Youth population, that is 15.29. So we consider youth population, which is coming in bracket of 15 years to 29 years. That is only 27% of the population. And the life expectancy at birth is 72 years. There's a more life expectancy, means we are going to have more aged population. And the youth population is 15 to 29 years, which is only 27% of total population. Okay, workforce and economy, shrinkage fertility rate, fewer entrants into the workforce. If there will be a shrinkage of fertility, then there will be less workforce. Larger youth cohort low, but aging population will dominate in the coming decades because there will be a less birth rate, then aging population will automatically dominate the upcoming decades and need for skilling, productivity enhancement, and pension reforms. Talk about healthcare sector, rising demand of geriatric care, chronic diseases management, and long-term healthcare infrastructure, which will create a pressure on public health system. Because if we have a like more aging population, then we need to have a management of geriatric care for the chronic disease management and for long-term health infrastructure. And this will create a pressure on public health system. Talking about social and governance, dependency ratio will rise because if there will be more elderly population, then there will be a more dependency ratio. Need for social security nets, old age homes, community support system. Urban planning must adapt to aging demographic because if there will be more aging population, we have to do a planning according to the aging demographic. Policy changes balancing both youth divided means short term and with aging population, that is long term. Means we have to frame our policies which include youth dividends, which will be of very short term because we are having a shrinkage in fertility rate and then aging population for a long term. So we have to change the policies from a youth frame policies toward aging population. Expanding healthcare infrastructure for elderly, ensuring financial inclusion and pension coverage for this older population, and promoting family support system alongside institutional care. Because in China or in Japan, we see a concept of family support system with along with institutional care. So India will also have to frame their policies that will promote a family support system alongside with institutional cares. After that, like youth bulge 27% of population, that is only between 15 to 29 years, means only 17% population will be considered as a youth population and peak by 2026. So means this is a rising peak. After this, there's a decrease in fertility rate, rising life expectancy, aging population is inevitable because the pace at which this life expectancy is increasing, the aging population is inevitable in upcoming times. And there's an urgent need for the policy adjustment in a healthcare, workforce, and social security. So if there will be more aging population, then we have to frame a policy adjustment in a healthcare sector, workforce, and then social security reforms. So this is about today's session. Let's do a recap. So first we have seen about Finance Commission. After that, we have seen how Finance Commission is constituted under Article 280, every 5 year, advisory in nature, 4 members, reappointments. After that, we have seen distribution of shares between center and state, and then first Finance Commission. After that, we have seen about Naga and Methi tribes, about their origin, their specific region, historic context of both the communities. After that, we have seen the regional languages mentioned in the 8th schedule, and then we have seen this difference between both Methi and Naga tribes. After that, we have seen India and Australia partnership, where we are working on strategic partnership, and then we have a comprehensive strategic partnership. And these are the key areas on which India and Australia are working or looking forward. That means mining, critical minerals, education, IT sector, renewable energy, biosecurity, and climate adaptation. At the same time, we have partnership as a Quad partnership, defense cooperation, critical minerals, Indo-Pacific strategy, and then cybersecurity. Again, we have opportunity in agriculture field, and these are the challenges. After that, we have seen that we need to have a better governance in water management in peri-urban areas. The urban areas or the peri-urban areas they are between rural and urban zones because of urbanization in these areas. We need to have a proper peri-urban dedicated bodies, and these are like the challenges like flood and drainage, contamination, institutional gap, and then we have an equity concern. After that, we have seen the government issues because these are gray area. There's no dedicated governance body for this peri-urban areas. Then we have a middle ground that what can be solution that we need to adopt a hybrid governance model, a balance of both urban infrastructure planning at the same time community-based rural management. After that, we've seen the action that really need to take. After that, we have seen this from black to gray, mean the aging population and how it is concerning for India because there's a shrinkage in fertility rate and the rise in elderly population. After that, we have seen that how this is going to impact the workforce and economy because there will be a less fertility rate, then there will be a less workforce, and accordingly, there will be a low in productivity. And after that, if there will be a like more aging population, we have to change the policies according to this aging population, and we need to have a infrastructure or healthcare structure according to this aging population, like management for their chronic disease and for the long health infrastructure. At the same time, we have to shift our policies from a youth dividend that is will be a short term to a aging population for a long term, and this will expand our healthcare infrastructure. A fiscal inclusion and pension coverage will also be a one concern. Again, there will be only a 17% population that will be considered as a youth between 15 to 29%. And life expectancy is rising, and that because of there will be more aging population, and that will be an inevitable process. And now there's an urgent need for the policy adjustment in healthcare, workforce, and social security. So all these factors need to be changed, and there will be this ongoing trend. So this is about today's session. I hope everyone you like the session. If you have any concern, do let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much, everyone.